Hello everyone, my name is Leonardo Clemente, and in this video I explain a little bit of what disease forecasting is and how. After some previous work at a hospital, my thesis proposal for the computer science program is related to it. So, what is disease forecasting? It basically means we're trying to predict whenever people is going to become sick. This activity, it falls in the statistical and epidemics area of medicine. The biggest motivation behind this is just saving lives. Putting it simple, the best way to save someone is actually helping him not even become sick in the first place. We need to generate good information about what's going to happen to the population related to certain diseases. This can be either national, regional, or even more local areas, right? The point of this is sending that information we generate to hospital and health institutes or organizations so they can make the big decisions. So what kind of decisions? Well, if you already know how many people are going to get sick in certain regions of your country, you can optimize your logistics such that you know where to send medicine, where to send doctors, and actually save time and money. And on the other hand, you can also inform within time all the neighbor areas that are really close to those disease outbreaks, so they get prepared and they can minimize the infections within their own regions. Another really good motivation behind disease forecasting is economic burden reduction. Economic burden basically means how much does a hospital spend per person for a specific disease. Just as an example, it is expected that a hospital spends up to $700 per person just for influenza. On a yearly rate, you can expect about 6,000 people to get to the doctor and actually get confirmed out of influenza. So if you add up those numbers, you can get, that's about, I think, $4.2 million, which is a lot of money. So what's actually the deal behind it? Why is disease forecasting? Why is there a problem there? I'll try to explain that with a little bit of what I experienced in the beginning of this year. From the start of the year, I began working with researchers at Harvard Medical School on this topic. I worked for a few months on by myself and actually went out there and worked at Boston Children's Hospital for another few months. During my time there, I developed a set of preliminary models to predict influenza in 8 Latin American countries. So, and how the hell did we do that? Well, we gather information about influenza incidents from each country and also gather data from external data sources which are not created from health institutes. In this case, we use information about what people search on Google. We work on the premise that these Google search variables are correlated to the actual trend of people being confirmed for influenza in hospitals. This means that we think that if somebody somehow interacts with influenza-infected people or shows influenza symptoms, he will pop up to his Google searches and actually write down things like influenza symptoms or how to cure the flu. Maybe get a little bit scared and actually go to the doctor. We combine that and we use a multivariable linear regression methodology already studied for forecasting in the US, and this is what we got. Okay, so I really don't have time to explain this, but bottom line, it works to an extent. During my time, I realized that countries that are really developed, such as the US, they have really good information databases, which actually make good sources for disease prediction. For Latin American countries, it doesn't always hold true, and this is the problem. There is no solely reliable information source for disease forecasting, and this is also true for the US, like for every place. Disease infection dynamics are really different from culture to culture, and this basically means there is no real probability distribution which you could account for to make a perfect prediction for every region. On top of that, information source reliability is also a big problem. In some cases, data is just not as good. So basically, it all accounts to developing either a more technologically and region-adjusted model for the countries, or try to find approaches which are more robust and flexible to the disease dynamics on certain behavior. And that's basically what my thesis proposal is about. I'm here to work towards the development of disease prediction models that work better in countries with data sources still ain't great. And that's basically all Latin America. Thank you.